To start your Zentangle animal, you'll need a printed picture of an outline of the animal that you want to do. So here I have an outline of a golden retriever. This one happens to have a checkerboard background. That doesn't really matter. All we need is the basic outline of the shape of the animal. To print an outline of the animal you want, you can search for it. Just type in the animal that you want, like I'm going to search for a cow outline. And then I should go to images, and I can see lots of different options here. So we could see kind of more of a cartoon style and more of a realistic shape. One thing you want to look for is one that is pretty open, meaning that it doesn't have a lot of detail. We just are looking for the shape of the animal. It's okay if it has like eyes or ears, but we don't want it to have too much detail inside. Otherwise, if it does, you can just leave that out when you create your own artwork with it. Let's say that I like this one. I'm going to take a screenshot of it by pressing down on the home button on the iPad and the power button. And I'm going to press down on those at the same time. You should see the screen flash like that. And then you can click on your image. And then we're going to crop it until we have just the animal outline. We want to zoom in on the animal and not have some extra background around it. After that, you can go to the button that's in the corner that has the arrow on top of a little box. Click on that, and you're going to go to print. You should print to the Art Room printer and then press print that's in blue. The iPad is telling me that the printer is low on toner. If you get a message like that, you can just press OK. Once you have your printed picture, then you can get a blank piece of paper and you're going to write your name on the back. Don't forget to write your class code with your name. Then on the back of your printed picture, we're going to put some black oil pastel on the back. And when I'm doing this, I don't have to press super hard, but I do want to get a medium value of this black oil pastel. This is going to help us transfer the image to our blank piece of paper. On the blank side of my paper, I'm going to put the outline of my animal on top. I'm going to line mine up a little bit so the dog is in the middle of the paper. I'm going to use a paper clip to clip it in place while I transfer it. We're going to use a pencil to trace around the outlines. What's happening is the oil pastel is getting pushed onto the paper. You can see that an outline is being made of the animal. It's important not to move your paper while you do this. It's hard not to take a look and see how it's turning out, but then you might not put your paper back in the same place and your outline could be a little bit off. Keep your paper in one place and use your other hand to hold it down. Now that I'm done, I can take my paper off and we can see a light outline from the oil pastel transfer. If there's any lines that you need to go over again to make them more visible, you can do that with your pencil. Like up here, I can't really see the texture of the dog's tail, so I'm just drawing it in and imagining what it would look like. Or right here, I'm just finishing that ear shape. The next step is outlining this with a Sharpie. If there are parts of your animal that are colored in black, you can go ahead and fill that in with your Sharpie, like I am with my dog's eyes here. The next step here is creating some sections on your animal for different Zentangle patterns to go. Notice how the fish has a few different sections, and I've started filling it with patterns. Some animals might already have some sections. Like if you chose a cow, well, there's already some spots on the cow that are their own shape or section. That would work well to put patterns inside of. You could definitely add a few more here on this particular cow, but on my dog here, I'm going to have to add some sections. So to do that, you can just draw lines where you want the different patterns to go. We just want to give ourselves some places to put different patterns. So I'm kind of looking at like the bottom of the paws, the top of the tail. I wouldn't put too many sections on an animal's face. We don't want to distract from the features like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and then it would be a little bit hard to figure out where that is. So mainly on ears, legs, the body. It just sort of depends on your animal. You should have at least 15 different sections for your Zentangle patterns to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and outline those lines that I drew with Sharpie. After everything is outlined, you can take an eraser and erase any pencil lines, or you can try to get off some smudges from the oil pastel if there are any on your paper. We're going to end up painting around our animals, so it's okay if there's some smudges in your background area. Then you can use the Zentangle patterns and designs packet to look for examples of what to put inside your sections. So for example, here I could put some rainbow lines. Just arched little lines. What you should do is choose one pattern and you're going to fill that entire space with that Zentangle pattern. Then you're going to move on to another section and choose a different pattern for that. The cool thing about Zentangles is that you can always turn something you don't like into something else and no one will know. Let's say you were drawing some designs, but then you ended up not liking them. You could turn them into polka dots and color them in. But maybe you are drawing straight lines, but then one becomes a little bit bumpy or wavy. Well, then you could continue making them bumpy or wavy and it would look like that was your plan. No one will know that you made a mistake. So just have fun and relax while you're drawing these Zentangles. Now that that section is done, I can choose something else to put next to it. We don't want to have the same pattern right next to it, but I could put this pattern somewhere else far away when I get to that spot. You could even do something as simple as just a type of line, but make sure that you are filling the entire section. So here I am putting some dashed lines in to fill in this space. I hope you have fun getting started on your Zentangle animal. I can't wait to see how it turns out.